Describe the four main functions or purposes of government. In your opinion, which purpose or function of government is most important and why? Should have put that in there, and why. There you go. So list and explain them. And then underneath your explanation of each purpose and function, describe in your opinion what you think is most important and why. There we go. So I'll give you guys some time to finish that up right now. Any more time? We're ready to go. Ready? Okay, let's go over them. So first main purpose function of government we went over in class yesterday was what? What was one of them? Connor, what do you got?
National security.
All right. Okay. So maintain, control national security. Good. So what examples can you have for that? What can you list? Military. Good job. Good job. Military. And how the military, maybe other agencies like the CIA, FBI help protect our people. And military, especially setting up military bases around the world to help protect our assets, protect our territories, our interests, and obviously us here in the United States. All right, good. Good job. So military is a good example of national security. Good. What else do we have, Ryan? Maintain social order. Good job. What examples do you have for that?
Laws, regulations.
Yeah, good job. So creation of laws, policies. Okay. You can describe the court system here in the United States, the judicial branch, and how the laws are interpreted, and that people have a fair trial. Okay. And that the accused have rights themselves. What else could you maybe describe with maintaining social order? So who kind of enforces the laws out in the streets to protect the people? The police. Good job. So state, local, and even federal police agencies to help protect the people. Good. What else do we got? Gracie? Economic decisions. Good job. And what falls under economic decisions? Yeah, trade. Good job with other foreign countries. Setting inflation rates, right? Or sorry, interest rates. So trying to help and stop inflation from occurring. Maybe it's aid to really people that can't afford certain things. So welfare, so social security. There might be decisions being made economically to help benefit the country. Right. So in times of need, let's say depression or recession, the government can step up and help with stimulus packages. Right. You name it. Good. What else we have? What else we got? Rooster? Provide public services. Good job. And describe a few public services we mentioned yesterday. Yeah. Good job. Education. All right. Roads, bridges, forms of transportation. Like you said, healthcare, anything medical, really. You can describe a little bit about sewers, like you said. Good job. Awesome. So public services that provided to the people. Parks, institutions, museums, libraries, you name it. Help educate our society. Awesome. Awesome. Obviously, there's private entities to that as well that kind of take the form of forms of transportation, education, obviously. But at the same time, government does provide that for the people. All right. So, in your opinion, what is most important? Forney? What do you think?
I said maintain social order.
Oh, yeah?
Because if we don't have order in the country, it's just gonna be chaos. Collapse.
Yeah, good job. There's going to be chaos out in the streets, anarchy. It's going to be like the purge every single day. Right? Yeah. You guys ever see that movie? I guess there's a couple movies now and a show. I think they're getting a little wild with it, but I like the first one anyway. Yeah, so there's gonna be chaos on the streets if there's no order, if there's no court system, if there's no police authority. There might be problems, conflicts that are emerging all across the country. All right, good, good. What do you got, Autumn? Maintain social order. Okay, and we described that a little bit yesterday with Iraq, right? At the end of Saddam Hussein's rule there, and they just didn't have a government that was formed, that was created to help establish a long-lasting control there. And there's a lot of issues, conflicts like looting, and some other issues that emerged from really the fall of his leadership. You got to think, after a dictator like that, kind of losing power, you think that everything would be better, but things kind of stayed the same, maybe got worse on the streets. All right, Rooster, what do you think? Geez, okay. All right. What do you got, Gracie? Oh my gosh, Ryan. Jeez. Connor? Okay, why do you think that's most important?
Uh,
Yeah, they're foreign countries, right? Good job. Good job. So it's always important to make sure that our borders are protected, our assets are protected. The resources that are coming to the United States are protected from any other foreign country. Good. Good. So it's important to have a strong military, right, Connor? Good. All right. Again, there's no wrong answer there. Okay, you could have said public services. Obviously, education is important. Roadways, bridges, transportation is very important, vital for our economy, and really just travel in the United States. Okay, helping with obviously social order. Okay, it's going to be difficult to have police authorities get to the crime if there's no roads, no bridges, right? So yeah, maybe that's important too. You could have said economic decisions as well. So how the government's setting up interest rates levels to make sure things are affordable for the people to keep a high standard of living in the United States. Okay. All right. You could have said any of those. All right. Is there any questions? Good. All right. I got one vocab term for you today. That's it. And I have a short reading for you. And we're going to talk about the theories of government. So, where did government come about? I don't know if maybe you have this one down. Theories of government, the bottom one. You have that? No? Okay. So there's going to be four of them that are going to be described. So I'd like you to write those four theories down. And today we'll describe in more detail about them. While you're doing that, I'm going to get you guys a book so we can refer to that when we can. Online, but all right, we got our theories down. You got all four of them? What was one of them, just to make sure that you have the right theories? 40? Okay, good. Making sure we have them. All right, so forever, there's a reason that you guys are at home, maybe quarantine or let's say weather, and you need to access the book. You just click right here, chapter 1 under modules, click right there, and it'll just give a description about the chapter we're getting into. And then here's the textbook chapters at the bottom. All right, so I'll just bring up a PDF. So that's there for you guys in case your guys are at home. For those at home, TVA, there you go. But for those of you in here, I just passed you a book. I'd like you to refer to page 8 and 9. So turn to page 8 and read the theories of government. Shouldn't take you too long to do. That's all I want you to work on right now. Just reading theories of government. All right, everybody finished? Are you still reading? Good. Okay. All right, let's go over the theories of government here. So the first one you read about is the evolutionary theory. What was the evolutionary theory? Where government came about? How did government come into existence? What does the evolutionary theory state? Ryan, what does it state?
Basically, the head of the family before everything.
Yeah, good job. Good job. So as the extended family grew in size, the elders became the governing body of the society. So this might be in many religious groups, okay, and maybe countries in the Middle East, where these people that were the chosen family, okay, that they would kind of rule their society moving forward. And their children would be land like lords, okay, kind of like second in charge underneath the leader of that society, of that group. So that's kind of how this broke apart into power and into government. So it might even be just with a chosen family of the elders. Okay. So people that are older would be chosen to lead that society. Right? Why elders? Why would the older people be chosen to lead society and make the decisions? Connor? More knowledge, right? Experience, wisdom. They experience the world already. They already kind of know right from wrong. And they are believed to have the most wisdom in that society. All right, good. Good. So the evolutionary theory. And year in and year out, obviously, this would change from generations that the children would later become the leader of that group or society. Is this still kind of around today? It's evolutionary theory. Connor, what do you think? Maybe you can, yeah, you can relate it to England, right? So the monarch, it's a constitutional monarchy now, where the Queen of England, Queen Elizabeth II, she doesn't have too much power anymore, but in all reality, she's still the state, the figurehead of the country. Right? They look at her through many different concerning times, or she might address the nation. She only did so a couple of times, one being during World War II. She was really young at the time. It's pretty crazy to think about, but she's still around today. She's up in her upper 90s, and she addressed the nation during COVID-19. So, I mean, maybe there's others, but those are the ones that stick out really the most. Maybe you can think of a dictatorship, right? Kim Jong Un, 1950s, obviously, in North Korea, and them kind of forming after World War II, leading up to Kim Jong Un now. All right, so evolutionary theory, held by the elders. Maybe it's an oligarchy, which we'll talk about an oligarchy more next week, maybe towards the end of the week, with types of government. Anybody know what an oligarchy is? It's not one leader, but it's maybe a group of people that come together that are chosen to lead society. Okay, maybe they're experienced, they have a wealth of knowledge, academics, education, or maybe they are just military founded. All right, force theory. What do we have for the force theory? What do we got? Connor, go ahead. Okay, all right. How are they going to force these people to listen to their orders? The use of what do you think is going to be vital in this type of government? Yeah, power, the military, right? Yeah. So in many cases, a force theory is just whoever's more powerful, whoever has a military behind them. Okay, and this also just kind of explains more with the way that military structure and military dictatorships came about. So those who were stronger led society. Those who had the most power led society. And the force theory, you can apply it to really animals, right? The lion's pride, who kind of leads the pride there, the strongest lion. Okay. So you can maybe apply it to wildlife. So the way these people got power through force, through military action. And many dictators today still have this type of authority. And if you look at other countries and their disputes with, let's say, the United States, okay, whenever it comes to democracy around the world, decision making in other parts of the world, okay, obviously it's nice to have a strong military. You can utilize that to gain what you want, resources, territories, whatever it might be. So the force theory still kind of used today. But when we're looking at an emergence of government, okay, this is one person or a group, let's say an oligarchy, that comes to power because they have the military back. And the way to try to protect your country, your society, let's just say making defenses. So protecting yourself with military bases or creating a huge wall around your country. The Great Wall of China, maybe, right? All right, divine right theory. What does that mean? Someone else here. Connor's doing a good job. Let's hear someone else here. Rooster, go ahead. Yeah, good job. So many countries in the Middle East, China even. Okay, when many of their leaders were chosen, they were descendants of God. Okay, they were in many cases gods themselves, right? In Egypt as well. Okay, they believed these leaders were just maybe forms of God or descendants of them, of their own God. So religion playing a primary focus in this type of society or this type of country. And these people were chosen to lead because they were descendants of God. This kind of maybe got older, let's say the 1600s in the Middle Ages of Europe. They're like, oh, you know what? We're just chosen by God. And if you go against us, you're going against God, you're going against the religion. So as just a good example to maybe get rid of someone. Okay. If you're challenging God, if you're challenging the Bible, let's say their book of worship, well, you're going to get exiled or killed. That's just a good enough justification for breaking laws. All right, so descendants of God or people that were chosen by God to lead their country, lead their society. And many people look at the Holy Roman Empire today still, right? With Pope, okay, and the Catholic Church, how it's chosen how these people still have very much power. And we all know them. And they're very significant people. So divine right theory, chosen by God, descendant. Social contract. What do we have for social contract? 40? What do you got?
Basically, that like no government exists. That basically it has a contract.
Okay. Okay. All right. So this is a contract that's signed by the people and the government. So the government's going to supply them with defenses. They're going to protect the people. They're going to provide them with public services in most cases, not all. They're going to maintain social order through an authority presence. Okay. And at the same time, they're going to make economic decisions for the people. Oh, what does that sound like? The purposes and functions of government, right? Yeah. Yeah. So these people are signing this contract for protection, public services, economic decisions that the government will supply for the people. What did the people give up? They exchange, well, their rights, their freedoms. And in Thomas Hobbes' case, we'll talk about him when we get in Enlightenment thinkers. People were born vicious, brutal, that they're in many cases born mischievous or bad nature. So that they needed government to keep these people alive, keep them making right decisions. So what does that sound like? If the government is holier than renown and that the people are immoral and they need the government for their protection, okay, or they're relying on the government for everything. What does that sound like? Connor, what do you think? Exactly. Good job. Dictatorship, an authoritarian government, right? An absolute monarchy. And that's what Thomas Hobbes believed was the best form of government, an authoritarian government. We all know today that's not the case, right? That's not the case at all. And we'll talk about it. John Locke, he'll come around and discuss many of the liberties and freedoms that people need that are above the government, okay? And that is signed by them and God, them and their religious belief, right? And it's above the government. So that's life, liberty, not the pursuit of happiness, but property. Okay, that's what he described it as. So we'll talk about that here soon enough with enlightenment thinkers. But the social contract is that we are just, we're asking government for protection. We're asking it for economic decisions, national security, right? Pretty much the purposes and functions of government. And in return, we're obeying the government. We are following the laws that they establish. And we're giving up some of our rights to the government for these types of luxuries. All right, is there any questions on the theories of government? So this is a belief where government came from, right? I'm not sure which one you guys fully believe in the most, of where this originated around the world, but these are the 4 theories where it's believed government came around. Or maybe it's a combination of both, of all of them, who knows? We'll talk about that more tomorrow. All right, is there any questions? So reminder, what is due Friday? Citizenship test. Good job. So make sure you guys have that done. I'd like you guys to work on it now. You should be able to get some of it finished up today.